and welcome back to another episode of The Stories That Bind Us. My name is JacVanBee. I am your host. I am a singer, songwriter, creator. I'm a vocal coach. I'm an artist. I'm a music composer, and I just love talking to people. There's a lot of amazing people out there in this world, and they have so many stories to share. I think everybody has a book in them, and sometimes we may think that we are not that interesting, but then when you really think about all the things you've experienced in your life from when you were born until where you are now, we have so much more in common. We are so much more alike than we're different. And I want to bring people together with this podcast to really hear other people's stories and get inspired by that, or feel encouraged, and maybe even find the courage to share your own story, because this is what really binds us. This is what really makes us relate to one another. And another funny thing is, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but whenever I'm out and about, because I love nature, and when I'm out and about and it doesn't even matter where I am, I always like to smile at people, because I think this is like something that is a gift that you didn't have to pay anything for, that you give to someone else, that is just beautiful, because people need more of that. They need to feel appreciated. They need to feel acknowledged. People oftentimes just walk around almost like zombies, just doing their thing, being little robots, and being so I don't even know what's going on in their mind, but they seem often so disconnected. And I always try my best to connect with someone, eye contact. And it's funny when people have told me, like, people in New York are nasty, or like people in Los Angeles are fake, or the French people are so rude. And I have to tell you, like, no matter where I am, I've always met amazing, kind, generous people. And I think if you open your mind to that concept, that you will experience the same. If you stop judging people right from the get-go, and you just be open and willing to be a bit vulnerable, and also just be kind, it goes a long way. So today's guest is a very special person I just met, and we just totally hit it off. She's a very young and ambitious poet. She's an editor. She's just so full of light and love. I just love her. And we started talking about online dating, and we were laughing on the floor. We were laughing so hard. I was like, girl, I have to have you on my podcast, because this is just so funny. So this is a little juicy podcast today, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you like what you hear, first of all, I appreciate your time, because I know we all have things to do, and there's so much out there that you could be watching and listening. So I appreciate you taking the time listening to me and my podcast. If you love this, please share it with your friends. And if you would love to be my guest, I would love to have you on, and either just shoot the shit, or like tell me a very important story that you feel is like you need to share with the world. You can reach me at JacVanBee@gmail.com, or on Facebook, on Instagram. I am pretty much all over the place. So hit me up. I'd love to have you. And with no further ado, here is my friend Jess Berbae. I love her name, Berbae. Welcome, Jess. Hey,
Hi.
I'm here with Jess Berbae. She is so beautiful and so talented, a poet, you're just an overall artist. You do editing. What do you not do, actually?
Well, I can't sing.
You can't sing yet. We'll work on that. We met just a few days ago, and we totally clicked. I just love your vibe, and we're talking about all kinds of things, art and boys and dating, and it was like so fun. I was like, I need you on my show, because that's something I hardly ever talk about. It's one of my favorite subjects, actually. Boys, men, dating.
Love to hate them.
Love to hate them, right? Tell us a bit about yourself, like how did you get started, and maybe even we're gonna hear a poem of yours,
Yeah.
But tell us some more about you.
Right. So I'm originally from Belize. I moved here when I was 15. I went to college in Illinois at the University of Illinois.
Oh, wow.
And then I moved to LA when I graduated last May 2019. And I always knew I loved editing. I've I used to edit all of my friends' papers. I used to like be editor-in-chief in like the school paper, school journal, research, like literary criticism, everything. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So then when I moved to LA, I was like, I don't have a job yet, but I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. And everyone was like, you're so crazy, you can't do that, like you need to have that stability. And I was like, okay. So I ended up finding a job. It was like the first job I got at a law firm as a legal writer, and I did that for like a month, and then I realized I hate this. I don't want to. I was like, I do not want to do this. I am so sad all the time because this job is like killing my soul.
I bet, yeah.
And then I like quit, and then I was like, I'm just gonna like take a couple weeks and just explore LA and see what happens. And then I don't know, by like the grace of the universe, I end up getting like a contract at DC Comics to work as an assistant editor, and that changed the game for me. I was like, this is me living my dream, and I was just doing that for a little bit, almost a year, but COVID happened, my contract ended, you know. But right now I'm just freelancing as an editor and just editing books, poetry. I just edited my first poetry book.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I get editor credit on that, which is like,
oh my god,
super exciting. I'm so excited about that.
So I have quite a few friends who actually wrote books and stuff. So if you do that, you edit books too.
I edit books.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing right now. I feel like I'm just rambling, but
no, I love this because, you know, being a creative, it's so easy to get sucked into thinking, because that's what people tell us, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have stability, you have to have a real job. But guess what? The pandemic happened and there's no stability,
Yeah.
right? Nothing is like certain. So I love that you're doing that, because if you follow your dreams, do you believe in the law of attraction? Like what you put out, you get back, you know?
Yeah.
It's like things happen when you trust and when you surrender and when you just know exactly what you want and you're doing it.
Yeah. No, I know. I was like super sad when my contract ended, but it was every contract employee was released because of COVID. And then the good thing that came from that was like I got to edit my first poetry book. Poetry is my passion, and I'm like at DC I'm assistant editor, but with this I'm editor. Like I got to do this all alone, and it was like the most rewarding experience that I've had. So I think that's like the good thing that came out of this, and I'm just doing that right now. So you know.
Yeah. You know, you're still so young, and like, how do you deal with the pandemic? Because, you know, at your age, I mean, I think all of us want to have fun, but like, you know, when you're in your early 20s, you want to go out, hang out, go party, go clubbing, you know, go dating. Like, how do you feel? Like, I know a lot of younger, I mean, I don't even think it matters about age, but people are very depressed. People are very, you know, there's a lot of suicides happening besides the pandemic. How do you deal with that? Like, do you struggle with that, or you kind of find ways to?
It's hard. It's hard. It's like, how do you, like, especially me, I just moved here a year ago. I was just making friends. Like, January, February, I was finally finding my people. And then the world, like, ends, and then you kind of, like, don't see them anymore. So it's hard, but it's also, like, it gives you that time to lose yourself in your art. Like, I've been writing so much. I'm working on a poetry book right now because I have the time to do that. And I think just using, as I think as artists, we use our art as distractions and we let it fuel us. And even though it's like, regardless of the circumstance, we still have something to look forward to. So, I don't know. But it's hard. Like, sometimes you're just like, I love going to concerts. It's what I do. Like, I go to random concerts every day. Like, Wednesdays, I just be like, oh, going to the Troubadour, going to the Whiskey, you know? And I can't do that anymore. So, like, trying to figure out what your identity is, aside from, like, what you do, has been very, like, awakening.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. It's like, before, I'm like, I work here, I go here, and this is, like, what I do. But now it's like, but what am I aside from, like, these things that I do, you know? So I'm just having a lot of, like, spiritual conversations with myself and, like, people like you know?
I love that, yeah. I also love, I mean, it's so important, it's so easy to get distracted by social media, you know, because it's all this fake life going on. And it's so nice when, even though things are crazy, when you find a few people in the park, like we did, by like social distancing and hanging out,
it's still important to do that, because I feel like real conversations need to be had versus just like online, rambling off on, you can't read that person's tone of voice, like, what they mean. It's really hard.
It is really hard. At least now we have like Zoom and like FaceTime, which if this would have happened 20 years ago, we would lose our minds. Oh my god. I've met a couple people on like Meetup for Poets recently, and like it's just interesting how like people are so open, and I guess people are lonely and they just want to like meet people and talk to people. So like I made a couple friends just going on meetups online and talking to them. But yeah, it's just finding new ways to meet people. Yeah. It's been interesting.
Yeah. I feel like it's actually, I mean, we don't even know how good we have it. Like you said, if that would have happened, this would have happened 20 years ago, we would have lost our shit. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? We had no Zoom, we had no FaceTime. I don't even know what they had.
No social media.
No social media. Yeah. We'd be like wouldn't even know, And so we take for granted, I think, still all the things we have compared to back in the day when there was none of this available, That is true.
Yeah. I feel like it's easy to lose yourself and like feeling sorry for yourself. You're like, I don't have this job anymore. I don't have this like lifestyle anymore. But it's like we still have our health. And a lot of people cannot say that. And sometimes you just forget and you just feel like I was thinking the other day I was feeling sorry for myself, and I was like, why am I feeling sorry for myself? I have a roof over my head, I have food every day, I have amazing people in my life who love me and care for me, and I keep meeting amazing people like you, so it's like I should be grateful for all of these things, and sometimes you just forget about that,
Well, and I think we're humans, so we always want more. That's just, I think, our nature, or there's certain things that are still kind of missing, and I think it's okay to not be okay sometimes, But then, like you said, not to dwell in it and then say, you know what, I'm grateful. Yes, I feel like crap right now, but I'm grateful because things are actually all things considered pretty great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse first. And I know it's like easy to be like, it could be a lot worse. Be happy. I'm not saying be happy. I'm like, be depressed, but at least realize that things could be.
I make the best out of it.
Yeah.
And you are doing it, and I'm trying my best to do. The only thing I feel like for me, I have a hard time still doing, I have to admit that, like to schedule things, to like be, to have a certain, I wouldn't even say routine. I don't like routines, but like, I'm like, oh my God, what day is it? Like, what week is it? What month is it? I got shit to do. Why haven't I done that yet? Like, it's easy to just like, it's okay. The world is like standing still,
Yeah. No, it's definitely easy to fall into like the monotony of everything. Because it's just, if you don't have a schedule, like before, I think the thing that actually has helped me stay on schedule is like I started working out like a lot this pandemic. Like I have a friend who's a kickboxer, so I just bike to him every morning. We work out. Yes. But like, before that, like this just happened recently, like September. Before that, it was just like, I don't know what day it is. I don't want to get into bed. The world is just, there's nothing to do. And I think keeping busy, just like even dancing, working out.
Yes.
Like, even if it's not like writing or whatever it is that you do, just having something fun that's also good for you.
Yeah. I have to say, I feel like when I was like hearing about LA when I was not here, they made it look and sound way worse than it is, because I'm still going to the park, we still go for hikes, so it's really actually not as bad as people made it out to be. Like, it sounded almost like everybody's inside and not going anywhere.
That's what it was like in the beginning.
It was? I have to make sure this is still on, because the light goes like down. Yeah, it is.
Honestly, that's what it was like in the beginning.
Right.
Like, you can't even go hiking, like the mountains were closed.
That's crazy.
And it was just like, why is it, like, you're not interacting with people when you're going hiking. Yeah. Like, just, like, give us something to do. Cause
it's fresh air, it's sun.
It's sun, yeah. Like, no one was leaving there. It was, like, it was deserted. It was out of a movie scene, like, unlike anything I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like, you'd walk the street and it would be completely empty. And I was just like, this is eerie and weird.
Wow, yeah.
But at least it's not like that anymore.
I know. I wasn't there for that, but that must have been really crazy. Dating. Let's talk about the dirt. I love
That's
it.
why we're here.
I just love. We had so much fun. Oh my God. We started talking about, I mean, first of all, it's a pandemic. It's already crazy and weird, to even try to date. But then we talked about so I signed up for a few sites because I was like, not that I really have time. You probably don't have time for that either. But I'm like, and that'd be nice to have someone, right? And so I'm like, I'm going to sign up for a few dating sites. And, oh my God, this is exhausting. It's so exhausting. There's like no rewards.
I know. I literally, like the day I met you, I had just deleted my dating site that morning. Because I was just like, this is draining my energy, having the same monotonous conversation with the boys who are just like, hey, hi, what you doing?
Oh my
Nothing.
God.
Okay, cool.
What was
just
I saying?
I know, I'm like, I'm bored. Tell me something interesting. Like,
we know why we're on here, so should we just like try to get to know each other, or are we just saying what's up?
yeah, I think like a lot of the time though, like you don't really know why some people are on there. Like I'm not on there just to hook up. Like I'm not that type of person. And
Right.
I mean, if you are, good for you. I wish I was like you.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
just an emotional person, so I can't do that. But a lot of the time, guys are just like trying to get their dick wet. Can I say that?
You can say that totally. Totally. You know, I think I'm all for having fun, but at the end of the day, I mean, we all want something more. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. Like we talked about this because you're obviously like in your early 20s, so guys your age are like, I mean, they're just children. Like they have no experience, right? So they just want to like go and sleep around and
I think
have as many chicks as they want.
yeah.
But tell me some of the things that you heard. So first of all, so I was on Tinder, which I totally didn't like because I think it's more of a hookup site to
Yeah.
begin with. And then I was on Bumble, and I was just like, oh, those profile pictures. What is up with that? Put some effort into it.
I know. You get like selfies like up close to your face. I'm
Ew.
like, that's not attractive.
I can see your boogers. Like, or like you showing me the finger, or you're like with 3 other chicks. Like, really? Like, oh, that is like so attractive. I really want to meet you. I can't wait. Oh
like,
my,
oh my god, I'm so wet. Oh my god, you're doing it for me.
right? Oh yeah, when they have like that, they're posing, like they're showing off their body, but they're like not that hot. It's like, don't do that.
Stands in front of a dirty mirror, just like,
Clean the mirror, please. Oh my god. First of all, straighten up your fucking profile picture if you're serious. Even if you want to get laid. I mean, who would want to do that?
okay, first of all, guys, pictures of you holding a fish is not
Oh
cool.
my god, what's
It's-
up with that?
Why does everyone do that? I'm kind of like, oh, you got a fish, okay. Like, shit, I see a fish, automatic
Are you
swipe
saying
left.
you like us? What is that? That is so weird. Don't do that. Oh my,
Yeah.
yes.
Don't do
Oh,
that.
yes. What
There's-
is that? It's like this big carp or whatever that is. I'm like,
So they do that in, like, your age range, too,
Yes.
and they do that for, like,
so I did like age range. I went from like 35 to like 50,
okay.
you know, and I was like, but then like 22-year-olds would like show
Yeah.
up, and I'm like, wait, what is up with that? Like
Yeah.
27-year-olds. I'm like, no, I mean, I like you, but maybe, you know, I don't know.
I mean, you know, you can find out.
That's a little bit too young, maybe. Especially 22. But it's weird.
Weird. Yeah,
But then also these guys, so they like to show up. They show like either like in business suits or like with their bodies hanging out, drinking, or like, oh, I'm so cool. I don't know. I mean, what picture? And you know what? To your defense, like I don't know what all the chicks post, right? Because I don't know. I've never seen like the girls, and maybe it's you have a story. I have to, I guess, interview a guy and like see what he's saying. But oh my god, yeah, that's pretty. So tell me some of the stories. So you met a few guys, right? And
we're ready for this, okay.
Yeah.
So, the thing with, like, dating, I'm not normally a dating site person. I love meeting people organically. I meet
same.
people at concerts, I meet people at bars, just because I think I'm a social person, and, like, if I'm attracted to someone, I'm going to
Yeah.
go talk to them. Or,
Yeah.
like, usually they have the energy to come talk to me. It's whatever. But I was bored, so I went on Tinder, of all places.
I know.
Why would I do that?
It's actually yeah. That's kind of your fault too.
Yeah, it's like,
you were asking for it.
you know what? You're right. I was asking for it. I guess I'm
But
like,
you never know, right? You
you're
never
right.
know.
No, I think I'm just masochistic. I'm just like, yeah, let me
I
just
know.
go on this.
I know.
But
Hurts so good.
so I went on Tinder a couple of times, and I met a few people, and they were seemingly really lovely people. Like the first few times, this one guy, we went on this date. It was like we met up for coffee at like 3:00 p.m. and then we go to like the record store, and then we go to the bookstore, and we're doing all of these things that
that's
I
cute.
love as like
Yes.
what I love to do, and then he loves to do too, and he's like a musician, so then he like played some music for me, and I was like, this is a really lovely time. So then we like went back and listened to a few records, you know, and it was a lovely time. It was like up until I guess midnight or 1, like I hung out with them. They went home, like we didn't do anything too crazy, and then no, you know, it's a pandemic, we have to behave.
Yes.
So
yes.
the next day he like messages me, and he sends me this long paragraph, which honestly I appreciate, because guys these days are just gonna ghost you. But he was like you're undoubtedly a really beautiful girl, and I really enjoyed getting to know you and spending time with you. However, I was just looking to hook up, and I don't want to lead you on. But yeah, this like it was like a long paragraph essentially saying, if it makes you feel any better, I feel like shit. I'm like, first of all, you're crazy if you think this is gonna hurt me. Like, if it makes you feel any better, like, dude, okay.
Oh
whatever.
my goodness.
But no, it's like he's like I really enjoyed hanging out with you and everything. However, I'm just looking to get laid, and that's just the situation with like every person that I've dated. Or the last person that I dated, he was we dated for about 2 months maybe, and it was like really fun. We got along, same sense of humor, same like everything, and it was like we were actually dating. And he was like, I want your mom, my mom wants to meet you. And then so he invites me to yeah, so it's like, okay, so this is going somewhere.
That's strange. Like
he's like, so after a few, he's like, my mom wants to meet you, and I was like, okay. And then he like invites me to like a dinner, and like a day or two before this dinner, he breaks up with me, and I'm just or not breaks up with me, he like dumps me. We weren't together, so he can't break up with me, and I'm just like, what? Like, where did this come from? Like, a day before, you're telling me.
So what did he say? You just said, I can't forget it, like, forget me, like.
No, okay. So he sends me this long-ass paragraph basically saying, I know I'm trash, and I'm sorry to spring this up on you, but, you know, communication is respect, and I thought at this point in my life I was looking for something more, but I realized for many reasons that I'm just not ready, and I just don't want to lead you on. And I don't want to give you any bullshit and excuses, but the truth is I was falling for you, but I'm just not ready. And I was like, so you're going to dump me by telling me you were falling for me? Like, what kind of language is, like, in what world does this happen?
I don't get this at all. I'm falling for you, but
we can't
that's why I have to leave.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Oh my god, scared. Are you scared? They're scared.
I think men in this generation are just terrified of feeling something, because they just... If you let your guard down, and you let people know how you feel, I don't know if it's perceived as weakness, I don't know if if they've been hurt before, and they're jaded, and they're just like, I don't want to be hurt again, but it's not just men, I feel like women too, because I fall into that pattern too, where I start feeling things, and I'm just like, oh, can't go down this route again, so it's just, I think we're all super jaded, because we live in a world where, like, meeting someone is just like a swipe right. And, like, you just want to find the next swipe, and it's just a concept. And people don't expect to have a genuine connection with you when they meet you. They're like, oh, I'm just going to meet her, she's hot, she's cool, we'll fuck, it's whatever. And then they, like, get to know you, and they're like, oh, shit, I like her, and then I wasn't ready for this. And that's just what happens to me all the time. And, like, especially, like, I told the other guy, he was like, he only wanted to hook up. At least he gave me a paragraph and explained, like, I'm not going to ghost you because you're cool. He literally said that. I would ghost you, but you're too cool of a person to ghost, so this is the truth. And I'm just like, wow. You're so kind.
You're the paragraph girl. Like, at least they give you paragraphs.
You know what? You're right.
I think that's great, though, that they at least do that. But what I don't understand is, like, it's like saying somebody's like, here's $10,000. It's a gift to you. And you say, oh, I can't take that. Yeah. I could like maybe pay off my debt, or like do like a nice trip and treat myself to something good, and maybe put something in investments. Yeah. But I don't deserve that. Keep it.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like that. It's like someone is. Why not take a chance? Right? Like, I mean, it doesn't mean you have to get married, but it means like enjoy the time. But I guess you're right. It's like they either got hurt, even though it's so weird. Like, when you are younger, you would think you're not as jaded as when you've gone through, like, shit. You know, I mean, guys, like, in the late 30s, 40s, they're either married, divorced, they have kids, they've gotten burned a few times. So I get why they're, like, I don't have time for this shit. And at the same time, I feel like if you meet someone decent, then give it a chance, at least, have fun. But I think we're also so driven, like career driven, that we feel like it's a distraction.
Yeah.
And so we don't want, we that balance is so off balance.
Yeah, I feel like, no, that's 100% accurate. I think that, especially when you're trying to make it and you like move to this town, and this just doesn't happen in this town, but just happens everywhere. But
you're right, especially in bigger towns like New York City, LA.
You move here with this dream or this goal, like I want to be a musician, I want to be an actor, I want to be an editor.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what do I have to do to stay focused to get to this? And having someone, and at least maybe in the guy's mind, I don't know how guy's mind works, I'm not a guy, but like from having guy friends, it's like they don't realize that having someone might motivate you and push you, because they're going to be in, like, if you have a good person on your side, they will help you succeed. They will be there pushing you, helping you, making sure that your dreams come true along with theirs. But guys don't see that. They're thinking, I got to do this so that I can't be distracted, because if I get distracted, then I'm never going to be like whatever I want to be. And it's,
and I get that, because in my band, there was a guy who met this girl, and he was a fantastic guitarist. When he met her, he dropped everything. Like, he quit music, he and so when girls do that, or even maybe guys, like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, you should definitely support someone's dreams, someone's ambitions, and have respect for that. Like saying, hey, I know you got to work, this week, like, I'll give you your space. Giving someone space is very important. But man, this communication, I'm just so surprised that, like, you experienced that too, because, like, I haven't even gotten to that point. I was just like, oh my God, I cannot take the, hey, what's up? How you doing? How was your day? That's not how you communicate on a dating site. There's got to be a bit more, like, tell me something about you, right? Like, or ask me something. Like, we know why we're here.
Yeah.
You don't go to a networking event and pretend like, sorry, can I talk to you for a second? No, yes, that's why we're here.
It's so funny, because, like when I was on that dating site, Tinder, every time, like, I'd swipe up and I'd see no bio, automatic swipe left. Because I'm like, I'm not here because you're cute. I want to, like, know that we have something in common, or that there's something to, like, go off of. Yeah. And a lot of people I've noticed, if they just have a picture, they're just here to hook up. Like, they don't care about anything, they don't even want to know your name. It's like, don't tell me anything, just, take your pants off. And that's just...
That's gross. I mean, how many chicks can you do, like, in a week, I mean, and not catch something. I don't know. Like, I feel like, I mean, maybe we're different because we're girls, and we're like, there has to be something. I mean, I'm not, what do I do? Like, first date sex? I'm all for that. Like, if it feels right. I don't mind that at all. Like, and I don't think that makes us a slut.
No.
It's like, fuck, we have the right to fucking do it.
We have needs too.
I know. Yeah. And if it feels right, fuck yeah. Like, if everything feels right.
I agree with you. It's like, I see girls who do that, and I'm like, it's total empowerment. I want to be like that. I at least need a few dates in before, because I think I'm just like, the last guy that I went out with, this is so many stories. The last guy I went
Give us a dirt.
Yeah, we went on a few dates. It was like 2 or 3 dates. I met him at like the dry cleaners. Perfect place to meet someone.
Perfect place,
right? Super cute. Like, he had the most beautiful blue eyes, and like, I was like, okay. So I went in, got my dry cleaners, or tried to, and anyway, we hung out a few times, and then after like 3 dates, he's like, oh, come over, watch a movie. And now, I'm a little naive. No, I kind of like knew what that meant, but like, I was straight up with him. I was like, I'm not really like that comfortable just like having sex with you yet. And he was like, oh, we'll see about that. And I'm like, oh, like, at that point, I'm just like pissed off. I didn't like get pissed off to his face, but in my head, I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we like have some fun, but we don't end up like, having sex. And then at the end, he was like, I'm just gonna be straight up with you. He's like, I'm a fuckboy. And I was like, you're a self-proclaimed fuckboy. He literally called himself a fuckboy. And he's like, I just want to like, fuck girls and dump them, because I've been so jaded. Like, girls ghost me, and I'm just tired of like being hurt. So I'm just gonna, have sex and not be attached. And I was like, and that is exactly why I do not hook up with someone on the first date because I'm not just the type of person that you're
Right.
gonna fucking wash your hands clean. Like,
Yeah.
that's just not me. And you should probably know that by, like, after a few days, if you try to hook up with me and it's not happening, you probably think, like, is it ever, you know?
Right.
Like,
Right.
but I don't know. I think that maybe I gotta do what, you know, what girls are just
Well,
like,
well,
oh.
I don't even date. I mean, this happens like that happened like, you know, that was like one of those things. But I was like, oh my god, like it felt right. So like,
Yeah.
why not? But I agree with you at the same time. I think like you gotta be careful and like read the person
Yeah.
and kind of also like I try to do a little bit of research, like when I, you know what that person is all about, like you know who their circle of friends is, you
Right.
know what so a little bit like I know it sounds kind of weird, but I mean it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If you date someone, and I think coffee is always a good thing too, because then if things don't work out, you don't click, and you don't like one another, like it's easy to say, all right, gotta go.
Yeah.
Versus like freaking dinner and like
You're
I mean now you
sit
can
through
have dinner
dinner.
anyway, but you
Yeah.
just sit through dinner and like you want dessert? No,
No.
good.
Just like speed things up. We gotta go. I'm like, oh, I forgot I have to go feed my dog.
Right.
I don't have a dog. I'm just like, I have to go feed my
Right.
dog. He needs
Yeah,
to.
I have friends' dogs.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like I also feel like when you meet someone in person, a picture doesn't always do someone justice. You know, because you could have someone that you really it's not your type, but when you meet them in person, they're like, so that chemistry is there.
Yeah.
Versus in a picture, you'd be like,
Yeah.
you
First
put
of all,
past
like,
that person.
Guys do not know how to take pictures to save them
No,
like
they
their lives.
Most
I've seen guys, and every time I see like a guy who's like not that cute, I'm like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because you don't know how to take a good picture.
Yeah.
And then I see someone I see that same guy in person, and I'm like, oh my god, you are so attractive, but your picture makes you look like a 2 when you're actually like a 9 or an 8, you know?
Yeah.
Or a 10. I don't think I'm at that, but
10, nah.
Nah. We don't do 10s.
No.
Literally. No, it's just, I think guys need to put more effort into their profile if they're actually trying to find something.
Yeah.
Or they need to put themselves out there too, because
And don't be a dick. Stop ghosting people. I think
don't be a dick. That's
and girls too. Like this ghosting thing is just fucking stupid. It's like just say what you gotta say. Like
Yeah.
especially if you've like kissed someone or you went out, we had a good time. You know, it's just
Yeah.
like it's easy to say for that person. Oh, it's not you. It's that person, right?
Yeah.
But you still take it personal because you're like, wow, someone just fucking ghosted me. Like it doesn't make you feel good, you know. And I think it's just shitty when people do that. Like.
I know.
I
Why?
don't get
Like,
it.
it takes 2 minutes to tell someone, hey,
Had a
you're
good
just
time.
I had a good time. We're just not compatible.
Yeah,
I'm looking for something else.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know.
Well, I'm not really that serious. I realize that, and that's fine. I mean, you know, and I think you have so much time. Like, I mean, even I'm taking my time. I'm like not in a rush, you know,
Yeah.
to get married tomorrow, or like I just want to have fun and like meet people that I actually enjoy hanging out with, that make you feel good. Because I think you have to be with someone that makes you want to be a better person, you know, and someone that supports what you do. And you want to be supportive of that person as well, you know.
Yeah.
That if that is not there, you don't want to control someone or like. And maybe that's what guys are also scared of, and maybe also girls, like
Yeah.
you know.
I feel like maybe they've had like a situation where their significant other was controlling or something,
Yeah.
and it kind of just like brainwashed them to think that all women are gonna be like that. And you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe a lot of people are like that, but that just means that like when you find someone like us
Yeah,
who isn't gonna be like that,
yeah.
they shouldn't be stupid.
I know. And you know what you mentioned earlier. That's also a thing. If you have all this, like you keep swiping, right? Like not just on dating sites, but you go on Instagram. You go. There's so much out there. Like it's almost like in a you're searching for a catalog through a catalog, and you're like, oh my god, there's so many hot chicks out there. There's so many hot guys out there. Am I missing out on something? Right? Almost like I don't know. It's weird. It's just like, I mean, what are we actually looking for? Are we looking for a substance? Are we looking for something real and long term and deep, or are we just like, you know, doing the little instant gratification thing that is eventually? I mean, a pretty face is just a pretty face, right?
I know.
You know.
And I think a lot of the time, it was just like with my experience, guys just expect you to be a pretty face.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to be this like intellectual, like spiritual person that you get along with or have like a great sense of humor. They just see like a body. And then they meet you and they're like, you're a lot more than a body, but I'm not ready for that. I'm just trying to, it's a number game. I'm trying to get my dick wet with 10 different girls, but I don't know. I thought it would just be a phase. I'm like, oh, it's maybe guys in their 20s, but apparently it's just every guy.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I was on those dating sites. I didn't date any of them from the sites. I didn't even, I had like 4 or 5 conversations. I was like, I can't deal with this. I'm like, this is just exhausting. Yeah. And then I didn't want to talk anymore either. I was just like, yeah, this is like, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing? I'm like, I'm already over it.
Yeah. It's like, say something interesting.
It hasn't even started yet. I'm already bored. Like, it's like, don't be so deep on your side or like so interesting on your side, on your profile, and then you're just a freaking bore,
Like, do they even, at least with me sometimes, like, I'll give them that, like, they go off of something I said on my profile, and then they use that as a conversation starter a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Do they do that? Like,
a little bit, but, like, sometimes it's the guys that I'm not really interested in. I'm like, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
I wish you would have said that. Isn't that funny? We always want the one we can't have, and then they want someone they can't have. And I have to say, I'm sure it's both ways. Like I have a friend who went on a lot of Tinder dates, and he had a lot of fun actually. But he met a lot of crazy, like women who are like really kind of cuckoo, and maybe that's what they're afraid of too. They're like, she's probably crazy fucking bitch. Like, she's too hard to be normal, or too cool to be normal. There's gotta be something wrong with her, and I don't want to find out. Maybe that's what it is too. Like, it could be it. It's just so funny and interesting. Coming back to your art, so I think that, I mean, love is a great distraction, but I feel like I'm with you. Like, I have so much work to do, and when I really dig in, I'm like, oh my God, yes. Fuck love. I got so much to do, so if that doesn't work out, that's fine. I just dig into my work. What have you been up to, and when can we expect like your poetry book? And oh my God, you want to like give us a poem?
Yeah, I can read a poem.
Yeah.
So like I said, I've been writing, and I think that a lot of like my writing is circumstantial, and lately it's just been about like dating and guys.
I love it. Yeah.
And so I've been working on this poetry book. I have a few poems. I don't have like a publisher or anything yet. I'm thinking I'm gonna self-publish. I'm not sure. Yeah, like, it's gonna be out there soon. I'm hoping that by next year, before like summer, I'd have like a nice collection.
Yes.
But with that being said, I just wrote this poem a few months ago. I pretty much memorized it, but I'll like pull it up just in case I forget because I'm an idiot sometimes.
No, you're not. We all forget. I forget my lyrics all the time. Kidding me?
Yeah. So, spring loves were never meant to last forever. Yet you turned into a summer love, and I thought maybe, just maybe, we could last through the seasons. But just as the leaves changed color, you changed your mind. It's funny, in an almost unpleasant way, how fall used to be my favorite. But now I find myself cursing into the void between naked branches, wishing summer had never ended. Thinking about your sweaty summer fingers and the way your hair curls when it's a little too humid for comfort. And your hot breath on the crevice of my neck and the saltiness in your kisses and the regret and pure relief of not telling you I loved you. That's it.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I can't wait to have the book.
I am working towards it.
Oh, that is so, I love the visuals, and it's so relatable.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
So great, yes.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of my poetry is relatable. I think that with a lot of my work, this one not so much, but with a lot of other poems, the details are so specific to one person, but somehow it still relates with other people. Like, even if details are not the same, like, maybe you'll mention, like, Laguna Beach, or maybe you'll mention, like, Champaign, Illinois, like, whatever it is, like, it's, the experiences for people are still the same, regardless of the details, and I feel like that's why a lot of people gravitate toward my poetry. Not saying that I have fans or anything, but, just, like, people who read my work.
Put yourself out there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I just submitted some stuff to poetry magazines, and I have, like, we'll see what happens with those, but I'm starting to be more focused on, like, because usually it's always been a hobby for me. It's never, like, I want to be, like, my goal is, like, to be an editor. Like, I never thought, like, oh, I want to be a published writer. And although that's, like, I would love to do that, that was never, like, my, like, ultimate goal. Mm-hmm. But now I'm, like, I'm an editor and a writer. Why not do both, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's what I'm working on right now.
You have the talent for it. And, yeah, maybe it's because sometimes you think that, oh, I can't make a living being a poet, you know what I mean? Which I think this is the time you could do, like, poetry.
Yeah.
Like,
I can be
and I love your performance, actually, too.
Thank you.
You know? And that's really cool. I could even see, like, me writing, like, a piece of music, like, to one of your poems, and you just kind of, like, spoken word, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love spoken word.
Yeah,
I used to do that.
That's really cool. I like that.
I used to perform so much. Like, when I was in high school, I was, like, president of the poetry club and all of that. But then...
That makes sense.
I don't know. Like, I stopped recently. Like, I moved to LA, and I just haven't, like, really joined any, like, poetry groups or anything. Yeah. So, maybe I'll start doing that again.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you like LA compared to Chicago?
So, I lived in Chicago for 2 years, and I didn't really get to, like, explore Chicago because I was 15, my mom's super strict, like, it was homeschool, school home, it was just the clubs that I immersed myself into, and I think part of me being in those clubs was my, like, getaway from being home, just because I was like, I don't want to go home early, let me stay late and, like, write poetry, so, and, like, theater and stuff, but I went to University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, and when I think of home, that is home for me. Like, Belize is home, but, like, the people I met at the university, and, like, the genuine people and the connections that I made there, and just how, like, supportive and loving people are, like, that's home for me. And, like, my best friends, like, you know, I get so, like, almost emotional when I think about it, because it's, like, like, it's sad to think that might be, like, the best, like, 4 years of my life, and I know that it's not, but, like, that's just, people are like, college is the best that you'll ever have, and so far, when compared to LA, it is. Like, I moved to LA, and it's, like, I meet these people, at least in the very beginning, like, I feel like you and other people I've met have been, like, so grounding for me, even though I just met you, but I feel like I have this connection with you.
Yeah.
But a lot of a lot of the time, you meet people, you go to bars, or whatever it is, and the first thing they ask you is, what do you do? And it's like, I'm a person, like, I'm more than what I do, but all they care about is, like, how can I help you, how can you help me further my career? And I started testing it, like, a few times, like, first time, like, oh, where do you work? I'm like, oh, I work at DC Comics. Automatic, let's be best friends. I'm like, okay. Then, where do you work? Oh, I just work in publishing. Oh, like, where? You know, just publishing, like, books. Oh, okay. Moves on to next person. As if, like, our conversation was invalid all of a sudden. And I'm like, that's what it is like here, at least with my experience. And it's depressing. It's like, when am I gonna, like, meet people who genuinely want to be my friend, rather than, like, use me as a stepping stone for, like, the people I may know, or, like, you know. And it's, so that, like, LA, it's been rough, in the sense of, like, trying to find right people to hang out with, but it's looking up.
Yeah, you know what, they exist. I'm with you, though, because, so I was in the band first, and that band scene was, like, really very competitive, very, like, I found a few, I mean, I've been really lucky. I found amazing people here in LA, right? But, like, I noticed, like, some people, if I'd asked them something, like, you know, how to get to this booking person, or, like, to get on that show, they were, like, very secretive, like, you know, I may be taken from them. But for the most part, I met some great people. But the scene was really hard, and that's why I never was kind of part of the scene, because there was too much drama, and I was like, I don't do drama, like, I'm out. Like, I don't play those stupid games. But then when I started composing music for film and TV, and I got really lucky, I met one of the most generous people ever, you know, like, so we have a group that we always meet, like, once a month, and we just support each other, and we just, like, share, you know, ideas, business ideas, like, mental support, you know, whatever. So I think you just have to find that group of people that is, like, within the same, you know, circle, and maybe also, like, already a bit more established, so they want nothing from you, because there's plenty of people who want to help, you know, that are very generous, and they are out there. And so they do you a favor when they disappear out of your life, because you don't want someone anyway in your life that is like just your friend because they want to use you for your connection.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I don't want them to become my friend when I realize that's what they want. Like immediately, I'm just like, no.
And you're not dumb, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, no. But the thing is, you're right. There are genuine people, and like at work, when I was working at DC, like every single person I met there was the most genuine, caring person, and like. I mean, obviously they're like better at their job. Like they're editors, like they're above me, so obviously.
Well, they're probably like a little bit older than you.
They're older than me, and
you just got into this,
And they actually like work there versus people I was like on contract there.
Yeah,
so it's like
course.
So obviously, I mean, everyone there was super like genuine person, and I think that you're right that you do find those people, but I think maybe finding them in like a place that you already work where you already have the similar things are like where you look for friends because. Out in the world, like at the bars, it ain't happening.
LA is definitely. I agree with you, and that's why I left a year ago. But I was burned. I was like, oh, there's so much. It can be a really lonely place.
It is.
It's full of beautiful people, full of talented people, and successful people. But it's also full of people that are just so selfish and like just so me.
Yeah.
And
I can't tell you how many like emotional like nights I've had since I've moved here. Like it's like, oh, everything's great, but then like at the end of the night you're just like, LA is kind of a depressing city and it will break your soul. It breaks everyone's soul. It's just how strong you have to be to like fight through that.
Yeah.
And I think coming here with like bright eyes, like LA is this land of opportunity, which it is. It's a wonderful city. I would have never been able to like do what I do immediately like anywhere else. But it's also like people I don't know, people will like hurt you or like it's just you have to be tough-skinned and be able to fight through the pain that it will like bring, because it will bring pain. Like every person I've spoken to is like LA sucks. But then you meet the right people and then you love LA. So I'm like, okay, I'm slowly meeting the right people. I'm slowly gonna start loving LA. But
it's a love-hate relationship with me. I like when we go hiking, we've been on a few hikes, I'm like, oh god, every time I'm on those hikes I'm like, oh god, I love this about the city so much. And there's a few people that I really love, but then I also like certain people in the scene, I'm just like, ugh, I'm so over this, like this clingy, cliquey, who's cooler than you, it just, it's so superficial, it's so shallow, it's so, and I think this pandemic, if anything, has taught us that you don't really have to be here. Of course, yes, it helps when things are open. It helps that you can meet a lot of people that, can further. And I think there's nothing wrong with meeting people. That's why I love those networking events. Because it's just like dating. Like, you are there for a reason and they know what you're there for. And so there's no awkwardness. It's like, I'm here, I'm an editor and I'm a writer and I'm here to meet people and to get ahead in my career, versus like you go to a party or like a club and then what do you do?
See, that's why it's like there's a time and a place for everything. But like in LA, the time and a place to advertise yourself is always, even in the Uber. I know. The Uber driver's always like giving me his card. And I'm just like, dude, I just want to get to work right now. But
I think things happen when they happen. It's magical. Like I had a friend, I didn't know the person, but my friend was working at Guitar Center, and this guy was working there for like a long time, and he ended up being Madonna's guitar teacher because because it just happened. But I don't think he was like advertising himself. It just kind of happened like that. So things like that happen all the time, but it has to happen more organically versus like forcing shit and like just being a dick. There's no reason to ever be a dick about anything just to get ahead, because it's
there's no reason to ever be a dick, period.
I know. Be a good person. Be a nice person.
Be kind.
But you've come so far already, and you're still so young, and so you have so much ahead of you. So I think you'll find the right guy at some point. I'm
not like crazy looking for that. Like if it happens, it happens.
I know. Same. Same. It's like not the most important thing, because honestly, I have my dog, and he's my everything. I'm like, he's the coolest travel buddy, and he's easy. He doesn't give me shit for nothing. Sometimes, maybe. But,
he knows you're talking about him. He's looking at you with dog eyes.
I know. But you're right. I think that... but I want it all. What's wrong with having it all? Having, like, a nice relationship, having a great career, and obviously our health is the most important thing anyway, and a good circle of friends. And I think that's important, that you have people that you can reach out to, you know. Where can people find you?
So I have it online. I have like an Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
It's J.Berbae, Berbae, like Bay. I have like, I have a LinkedIn and stuff if that's, but I'm just online. You can find me. My name's Jess Berbae. Has a nice ring to it.
Yes, I love that, Jess Berbae.
I just love my name so much, guys.
I know, it sounds great. Jess Berbae. So nice talking to you. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Yes, we had to. It's just like I
Spill the tea on all the boys.
I know. We'll have like a guy on who can like defend himself and his.
Let's call up one of my guys. Be like, hey,
I know,
yourself.
right? Yes, defend yourself. Give us. Look at Paul, how he's looking right now. He has that serious look sometimes. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you guys are so weird. People are so weird. But yeah, it's so much fun, and I guess our message is just like, be cool. Don't be a jerk. Whether it's like business or love, relationships, like, you know, be a good person.
Be kind.
Just be kind and be considerate.
Yeah. Like, it takes so much more effort being rude than it takes to be kind.
Yes,
So
exactly.
just be kind.
You know, and be honest. I think people are just so. They've become so. Now that we have masks. You're wearing a double mask.
Yeah.
Stop wearing the mask under your mask, you know?
That's deep, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because everybody's like just wearing this big shield around them, like being so scared of being vulnerable and being real and authentic. And I think that's needed more now than ever. And with the big conjunction, even though we didn't see the stars last night, we didn't see them aligned, we know that happened.
Yeah.
We've seen pictures. We're entering the Aquarian age, so it's time for us to connect to the bigger picture and connect more on a deeper level and more on a kinder level, you know, for the whole universe, and not just be so selfish.
Yeah, everything she just said.
I was gonna say, any last words you want to tell the world, or like girls your age that probably maybe not can't take it as good as you. You're a pretty tough girl. You're like, whatever, dude, I'm already over here too, you know?
It's like, oh.
But I'm sure there's a lot of girls out there like, oh my God, I want to just like kill myself because I can't win, you know?
Please don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
I think that you'll realize very quickly what guys' intentions are, and if you realize it, just end it there. Like, why prolong something that you know is inevitably going to end?
Yeah.
So, just like...
all feel good. It's all...
just, you know, be yourself.
Be yourself, exactly. And know your worth.
Know your worth.
Because if it's just like having fun, that's great. If you both just want to have fun.
That's what you want. Go for it. Live
I know.
it. Just be safe, but do what you want.
Exactly. Be safe and just like have fun and see it like that. And then if things go further, then that's great. And if not, then move on and just like, because nobody's worth like suffering for.
Yeah, no one is worth lowering your self-esteem for.
No.
The minute that you let a guy dictate how worthy you feel, that person is not right for you, and that person should not even be in your life. Exactly. So they did you a favor by leaving.
Yeah, and that's with anything, in relationships in general. When it's like people have friends who are just like abusive or like really negative, I have no time for that because I'm like, no, you just no.
Yeah. You thank them for your time, for their time, and then you're like, next.
Yeah. Thank you, next.
Yeah. Ariana,
I know. And by the way, you have to check out, what kind of music do you like?
I love rock and roll. I love jam bands. So, like, my favorite bands are, like, Pink Floyd.
Oh, my goodness, girl.
Radiohead.
Yes.
Grateful Dead.
Shit.
Rolling Stones, you know.
Damn, girl, you do
AC/DC.
I love it. But it's funny, I love Panic at the Disco. Do you like them?
Yeah.
Do you know that song, Dying in L.A.? That's, like, one of my favorite songs. When you're dying in L.A., dying in LA. Oh my God, it's all about coming here wanting to be a star and then just like...
I gotta check them out.
Yeah.
I've listened to a few of their songs recently.
So good.
Like, it's all panic, no disco. Like,
I know.
So I was like, let me check them out.
Yeah.
But,
no, it's a great band. I think you're going to like them a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that immediately.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time and go check her out, find her, and leave us some comments like your dating experience. Dude. Your online dating experience.
to get out, explore. I've been here for way too long. So sick of all the same old shit. I'm so over it. I think this chapter is done. I keep thinking, we had a good run. It's time to move on. Shake it up, tear it down, pack your bags, let's get down. Time to move on. Until the next one. Things are kinda stale. I'm lost. My soul is frail. I'm tired of this addiction. This addiction. Gotta break it up. Gotta shut it down. Let the chaos start. Let the pieces fly. Time to burn it down to the ground tonight. We had a good run. It's time to move on. Shake it up, tear it down, pack your bags, let's get down. Time to move on. Until the next one. Everybody's dancing. Everybody's chanting. Everybody's chanting.